Okay, you guys, welcome to book club tonight. We're so excited to be going over chapters 3 and 4. I don't know about you guys, but I have literally been having fireworks with these chapters. Like, this was so amazing. And my beautiful friend Laura came and got her hair done a few days ago, and she was like, I'm dying over these chapters. And I was like, oh, really? Well, the, the word lead the discussion on our book club on Monday. So we are so privileged to get to hear from the beautiful Lara Sutton about these chapters tonight. So thanks for joining us, everyone, and we're just excited about this discussion we get to have. So Lara,
I know, and that's kind of how I want to do it, is a discussion, because my mind was pretty much blown. I don't have the actual book. I have it on audiobook, so I've listened to those chapters probably 3 or 4 times, just kind of going over and re-listening. And there's so much more, even when I sat down to take notes today, that like resonated that I didn't hear before. So I feel like my mind is blown. I don't know if anyone else's are on these chapters, but they're so awesome. I love how he begins talking about he went to this eating disorder seminar, and he's never had an eating disorder, but he wants to, find out more, and how the difference, as he was thinking about it, how women are unconsciously, he's like, whether this is politically correct, taught that their worth stems from their okay, bring him to dad. Sorry, I have a baby that's not going to bed. Stems from our physical bodies, and how men are unconsciously taught that their stems from their possessions, that's where their worth stems from, whether that's, it's just kind of what's taught through history. Kind of unsaid, I guess. But as he was debating on this and thinking about it in the shower, he talks about the condition with no name, and it's the success disorder. And how many of us, he called it success anorexia, and how many of this fill our minds full of head trash and stop ourselves from succeeding because we don't want to nourish ourselves. Really, we don't want to, and I think most of it's unconscious, but how we stop ourselves from succeeding. And I mean, he talked even about women. I see a lot of women on here, but that, how if we're doing the workplace, how now women outnumber the men in the workplace, and that we are the top at the starting of our own business. Like, we outnumber men starting our own businesses, and how our worth now comes from not only our physical, but also our possessions. And I just thought that whole thing was super interesting. I love it. And if anyone has any thoughts, please let me know, because it was like my mind was spinning. I can't do it right now. Okay, well, sorry. My baby only likes me and not daddy sometimes. So he might be joining us. Hi, buddy.
you can hold him, Lara. He'll just fall asleep with his mama.
Come here. Oh. Sorry. He's like super fussy. So go. You think you get everyone to bed, right? One thing I loved he said too is 2 truths. Everyone has potential, but no one has reached it yet. And like our hidden potential, and what are we, unconsciously keeping ourselves from. I love the analogy of driving a car. How it was when you're this age, you don't even think about it, and then you're like, oh, maybe I'll do it. And now we do it unconsciously as we do all of our stuff as we're driving. I kind of just am going to skim through this because I'd love to hear other people's thoughts and takeaways, not just mine. I love how he said, why should I follow this code? And the 7 reasons he listed, to get rid of your head trash, to allow yourself to make more money. Your sales and recruiting efforts will improve. You'll enjoy improved relationships with yourself and others. And who doesn't want that? I would love that, to improve my relationships. Your confidence will increase naturally. You'll experience increased energy, increased feelings of happiness, connection, joy, enthusiasm, and love. and you'll begin to know and live your purpose on earth. Like, who doesn't, like, for me, I was like, holy crap, especially when I found Plexus, I feel like I have found part of my, not only all these little people that I've created, right? This is number 9, number 10's in the oven, but also that I found a purpose within myself and how to connect with people and help people find healing and feel better. And what an amazing opportunity that we have. Yeah, he's telling you. I don't know if you can hear him, but he has lots to say. You know, to figure out what our purpose here is on earth. Because I feel like I saw a quote today I really liked. Like, I would rather be wrong and believe in God and get there and realize there wasn't one than to go through life believing there's not and then get there and realize there is, which everyone believes their own. But for me, I'd rather have a divine purpose or some type of purpose here. And I love the no more head trash. Like, how many of us, I feel like it's a daily struggle. I was super enthusiastic about these chapters on Wednesday. And then I hit the road, like I hit the wall on Thursday night. And I was, you know, how much head trash comes in? How much are we feeding ourselves? And that's where his whole, I'm going to jump to the chapter 4, his affirmations. How many times he's like, we do this all the time. I'm not good enough. Why am I not good enough? Why am I not? We're asking ourselves questions, usually negative all the time. And so we need to eliminate that. We need to get that out and change that. And so he's like, the true cause of all human behaviors are our why to's and our why not to's. You know, why are we going to do something or why are we not going to do something? And that's, you know, where our behavior stems from. Let me see. And he just talks about his 7 rules. One thing, my biggest focus is chapter 4. Like, I feel like my mind was blown with this, right? I see people shaking their heads like, holy cow, I have affirmations everywhere. I loved all the stories. He talked about a 13-year-old, a young girl whose life was changed by changing how she asked her questions. He talked about couples that work together. You know, he talked about a salesman who was able to triple his income in a month of changing his thought patterns, just instead of stating it. Because I totally get that. I've listened to affirmations in my ears before, and you know, as soon as it says, oh, I'm a multimillionaire, you kind of giggle or something. You're like, yeah, I totally am. Will I be someday? I believe so. But right now, no. You know, as you're like, have this stack of bills sitting right there. Like, you kind of go, it kind of gets funny. You know, it's like you do kind of, but changing it to a question and changing the aspect, it automatically puts us in a place of abundance. Yeah, he talks so much. Sorry. It automatically switches our brains. I was actually talking to a brother this week who does cells, and he's down doing cells right now. And I was like, I told him this concept in this book, and we were talking about it. And he's like, holy cow, I was just doing affirmations as I'm walking up to this door. And I was like, Joe, if you switch your mind and say, you know, answer it as like change it to a question rather than a
statement or something.
A statement. Yeah. Think of how your mind changes. Like, it automatically, I don't know if anyone else has sat down and written down theirs this week, because that's what I was doing. Yeah. Yeah. Erica has, and I'm going to hear from you later, Erica. I see, like, I want to hear some of your, but I was just blown away by how it changes everything. It changes it from, you know, like, because I think I automatically go, one of mine is, you know, one of my affirmations was, you know, there's enough time in my day for all I have to do. And as soon as I say it, it's almost like, I really don't feel like there's enough time in my day for all I have to do. You know, I'm a busy mom of 9. I'm trying to run a business. I've got a husband that's working a lot. You know, I was like, we've got dance and all these different events going on, you know, throughout the day. I'm trying to make dinner, dishes, laundry, like all these things. And I don't feel like there's enough time most days. But when I change it to, why am I able to finish each task that has been given to me throughout the days? Or why am I blessed to have the time? I just changed my wording, and it's automatically goes to a place, well, I did get this done, and I did do this, and I was able to do, like, it goes to a place of solutions, and a place in my mind of like, holy cow, look what I have accomplished, instead of a place of scarcity or a place that I might be falling short. And I feel like it was just blowing my mind. And I think I love how he talks about different ages, because I have, I've got a teenager now, and I have kids, and I'm like, I want to teach them how to change and write, because we were going to do affirmations as a family night, but how awesome to do it in a question form and put it up on their walls and get them to start doing this same type of thing, not just us. And I love that he used the example of the 13-year-old that was anxious. How many of us, I feel like that's a pretty big norm anymore with children and struggling and being anxious or any of that, and how we can help them. I loved how he talked about the home that wouldn't sell, and they went and did these AFFORMATIONs in each room, and were able to sell that home, and how it just changes the whole attitude. And I think even in our businesses, as we, if we come from a place of abundance, people can feel it. Not a place of scarcity, like, oh my gosh, I've got to make this money, or I've got to do these things, but a place of abundance of, things working out, and that type of mindset. As we switch to that, I just have noticed in my own team is that people can feel it, and that we are as you come from that different place. Trying to think, that's kind of most of I wrote down my own, and I would love to hear if anyone, like, I know he had you write down like your 5 most disempowering questions and our 5 most write 5 most empowering on top of those. And I think that it is a constant thing, and I'm going to read you a few of mine, even though these are personal, but like I already said, why is there never enough time in my day? And why is there enough time for each day for all that that God would have me do? And just changing that, like even just saying it out loud, it's like I feel something different. I don't know if anyone else has tried this. Another mine is, why am I never able to finish a task that I have been given? And I mean, I think that as I look at the piles of laundry or those things in my house, and I'm like, why am I able to finish each task that I'm given? Why don't people like me? And this is something I probably struggle with, because I come off sometimes a little, I don't know, awkward, I feel like. But then I change that to, why are people drawn to me and what I have to offer? And it just, another one, why am I not enough? And why am I enough in my Creator's eyes and those I love? And why can I not do this business? Sorry, he keeps kicking my thing. And as I was saying, why am I capable of this business opportunity and all that I've been given? And I think as we change our mindsets and change our, even just the affirmations, putting it in a question form, because we want to answer questions. That's our natural. I mean, how many questions when you have small children do they ask you every single day or every single minute? The same, it's like question after question after question. So that's our natural state, is to ask ourselves questions. But to change it from, I think most of the time the affirmations are negative, and to change it to something positive and what we can create with that, I think it's going to be super empowering. I'd love to hear anyone else's thoughts or anything. I know Erica was shaking her head. What do you got? I know you got something.
Well, for me, it was huge. I mean, when I read, sorry, I probably have my vacuum going, right?
There's no vacuum.
No vacuum? That's shocking. No, for me, when I read that chapter, it was the biggest eye-opening experience for me. Just because, I mean, I'm sure you guys can see on my wall behind me, that is my wall of affirmations. that I've had my daughter create for me. And so when I read that chapter, it was kind of like, oh, holy crap. Not that I've been necessarily going about it the wrong way, because I think it's great to have affirmations and all of that. But I'll have to show you guys, when I started reading that, I was like, holy crap, I know I can do better. 3 pages, guys. 1, 2, 3 pages of affirmations. Right after that, I just sat down and just started writing. And the feeling that I had was just so different. I just felt more empowered to do this business. I knew break was, like, after reading the first 2 chapters, I knew why I had the breaks on my business. I knew why I was still sitting at the same place after a year. It was kind of like, okay, I can blame it on losing my whole team, but that isn't really it, because I relied on that one person as a runner, and I never should have done that. So it's all on me, and I get that, but I knew why. And then when you finally can sit down and do affirmations and then get it in your head differently and take ownership and then ask the questions correctly, I think it's totally taking on a whole new thing. And it's a whole new level of, oh, holy crap, I can do this. I just need to do it. I don't know. It totally blew my mind wide open. For like 3 days, I was in a daze going, oh my gosh, where was this book for the last year? I could have been in a completely different place for the last year. This totally stinks, but it's okay, because a year from now, it's going to be totally different. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with learning slowly, and it's okay.
Oh, I love it. That's awesome. Who else? Anybody else have breakthroughs? We love to hear from all of you and your friends. Oh, really?
Yeah, he's got huge breakthroughs over here.
Oh, tell us. That's nice. Yeah?
Yeah.
I love how they talked about the root of the word, affirmation, to make something firm, and how an affirmation, you're literally forming what you want and you're committed to create with your words. Because I truly believe we all have our own answers. We go around, and I'm guilty of this too, going around asking other people, well, Brooke and Emily will know the answer, and I got to run this past somebody else. But if we would stop and say, okay, I think I know the answer. We typically have our own answers. So by asking ourselves the question, it's so empowering. Like, it literally is like a light energy. Like, I truly felt lighter when I was writing the questions, the affirmations. And because it's legit energy, it's a shift. So, love it. Who else? Testimony.
I know. Well, and I just love all the examples. Like, there was the couple who would do affirmations with each other, and in their own company, they were able to, rank where they wanted to in a 3-month period by just changing and getting that car, by just changing how they did it. She's like, we had them in the shower. We had them all over our house. We'd say them to each other. They were on our fridge. And how changing it to a question, changed everything. I loved that the insurance salesman from Utah. So I connected to that. I remembered that one. He went from $15,000 a month to over $100,000 a year. He tripled his income. $1,500 a month. Did I say 1,000? $1,500 a month. Yeah. Just by changing. He wrote down 150 and kept it in his pocket. And one of it was like, why am I getting all these referrals daily? He's like, in a 4-day period, I got 9 referrals, which had never happened. I think it does. It shifts us totally and completely to a place of abundance, a place of, where our minds are going. I think I was even talking as I was talking to other people about this week. I was like, as you say these things, all of a sudden you go to, okay, he's so loud. you go to a place of like, you know, yeah, this has happened. Instead of like it being a negative context, you start thinking of all the ways that you've been blessed in that area. And I think I don't know, I started writing a bunch of mine today. I've wanted to sit down and write them. But anyways, I haven't. So I started doing it today, and it shifts your whole mentality. It's going to be hard. You're going to have hard days in this business. You're not going to please everyone. People are going to get mad. People aren't going to understand. You're going to have all different walks of life that you deal with on a daily basis. And sometimes it can be draining, and it's, changing how we react and how our minds are and our mindset. It's something you kind of almost have to constantly be shifting and constantly be trying to go back to a place of positivity. But that's one thing I have loved about this journey for myself and journey for that I've begun, is because it has changed that mindset for me in a lot of ways. And I feel like I used to say I was a realist. Like, I'm just saying it how it is. I'm just being real. But in reality, I was just really focusing on the negative or what wasn't going right, and how I've been able to, not all the time, because I am pregnant with my 10th baby and I'm at the end, like that final 10-week stretch. So I don't feel that great. But I do believe that it has still shifted me to a place where, most of the time I'm trying to find the good. And most of the time I feel super blessed. And not that I didn't before, but this, I don't know, it's just opened my mind, this whole chapter. I don't know if anyone else.
I have one thing I want to add. This is so sockety at the very end of your thing. So talking about the 4 steps of the AFFORMATION method, because I love legit like bullet points so you can like apply, right? So number 1, ask yourself what you want. I think there's so much power in setting an intention. What is it that you want? Because half the time we run around saying, oh, I'm having affirmations. I'm happy, healthy, wealthy, whole and healed. That's great, but that's too broad. We need to know exactly what it is that we want. Number 2, form a question that assumes that what you want is already true. Like Laura was saying, why is it that I have so much time to do all the things that I've been blessed with? Then number 3, let your mind search for the answer. And then number 4, take new, and he puts in huge letters, actions based on your new assumptions about life. And I think that's why Erica was saying she feels so empowered. And that's what I was feeling too. I'm not going to lie, this morning I woke up with a little bit of a headache. I think I'm getting a little bit of like a sinus something. My throat's a little sore. It would have, before plexus, put me out for like weeks. I can feel it day 1. It's not my favorite feeling. But it'll probably be over a lot faster because I have plexus in my blood. But I was like, okay, why is today going to be amazing? Why am I going to be a patient mom today? Why am I going to build my children up with my words instead of being impatient, Why am I able to conquer my massive to-do list today? Because I live in the moment. I prioritize. Like, my mind went to the action stuff just right then. It wasn't, I'm going to do so much awesome stuff, and then immediately feeling overwhelmed with everything. And guess what, guys? It's been a pretty awesome day, and I feel like I've gotten a ton done. Not perfect, but I feel like it's so powerful to get the new actions that come, because that's the whole point. We can ask the question, but then the point is the new actions, the thought seeds are going to come, and those new actions, and then we act on them, is what's going to make the difference. It's not just asking the question and never doing anything about it. It's, why am I going to have an awesome day? Because I'm going to get out my pad of paper. I'm going to write, this will take 5 minutes, that will take 3 minutes, and I can look at it and say, I can do this. This is totally doable. Where if I would have just said, I am so blessed with all the time I need, and inside I'm like, oh, I am overwhelmed, So anyway, today was a super awesome example of that. Okay, Liz, do you have your hand raised? Get it. You're muted, friend.
Can you hear me? Okay, sorry. I've never done this on my phone. I'm feeling so like out of place. I'm scared. Okay, so hey everybody. Hi guys. Hi my team. I love you guys. I just wanted to step on for a second. First of all, I sound like a sultry man with a sexy voice because we were at youth conference and I yelled a lot. And it was really fun. I wanted to share this because it was at youth conference. I had the coolest realization, and it was actually because of one of the other leaders up there. And one of the things we were talking about was just our perspective. And, you know, of course, reading this book, it is just whole huge open mind experiences one after another. And I realized while we were talking, she's the funniest. I just adore this friend of mine, but she wasn't on Facebook. She canceled her account, and we talked about her doing the business for a minute, and she reopened her account, or at least got back on there. And you know, we just talked about this. She's like, I'm not a salesperson. I could never do what you're doing. And by the time we were done talking, it was so funny how she had completely gone from one side to the other. Because I said literally just the few words, this isn't about sales. In fact, if you're a salesperson, you probably won't do great at it. You're not selling something. You know, you are sharing this incredible experience and this hope for people that have lost it. And the only reason I wanted to share that is because it really was in reading this book and really just kind of discovering my own stuff and my own place with where I'm at in the business, that I realized that perspective is everything, and we all kind of know that intellectually, but when you put it into practice, it changes everything. It's the power and the energy, whatever you believe in that way, but it really is all about your mental place and what you allow yourself to believe, because what you allow yourself to believe is everything. It's your power, it's your energy, it's your spirit, it's everything that you throw into that. And if you believe you're going to suck, you're going to suck. If you believe that you're going to be successful and you're going to be amazing and you're going to be a gold or a diamond or a ruby or whatever, silver, you're going to get there. But you have to put your head down and stop basically self-sabotaging. And it was just such a huge thing, because in those few minutes of that conversation, she literally went from point A to point B with nothing other than just a few points that just kind of basically had to be put out there for her. And she embraced it. And it was just a cool thing. I thought, you know, all of us have that mental barrier. And if we are not open and if we don't take it in and really drink in the positivity and what we believe, none of us know our capability and our potential. None of us do. We don't. And when we believe that there's more than we can see, it opens everything up, everything. So it's huge. And I just wanted to share that because it was such a crazy thing for her, but it really did put into practice all this stuff we're talking about and all how important it is, but really putting this into play and not crippling yourself with your own thoughts and your own limitations, because really, truly, none of us know what we really can be. We don't. But if we put in that power and that belief that we can be more, then we will be more. And our potential really starts to come about. So I just had to share that because it was a really cool experience, but I think it's so much bigger than us. And, you know, it's true. What we tell ourselves is what we're going to be and what we're going to do.
Oh,
okay, shutting up now. And
so awesome. Laura, are you done? I hope I didn't interrupt your discussion.
Oh, hi. I suck. I just took over, Laura. I got this.
No, I wanted you guys to do it because I'm trying to do this, so it's hard for me to read my notes and stuff.
I'm
I
sorry.
love everyone else.
9 whole kids.
You know, and he won't go to bed. This is like our new thing every night. He has to snuggle with mommy until he falls asleep, which is great because he only has a few more. See, only a few more weeks to be in my baby. So I'm done.
Okay, I wanted to make sure I didn't hijack your conversation there.
No, I wanted that. I want people's input in talking about it. Like I love people's takeaways because I think we all hear different things, what we're meant to hear.
Yeah.
You know, and I love to hear other people's takeaways too. So.
Thank you so much, Laura. You guys, it was so fun when I did her hair the other day. I hadn't read chapter 4 yet, and she was like, Christy, it's amazing. So just hearing what she was saying, I was like, oh my gosh. So I had to read it that night, even though I was tired. I just had to dig in, and it's been just floating my mind as I know. And I feel like we're in tandem, having our brains and our hearts explode as a team. I feel it. I'm all, ooh, I bet Mindy loved that part. I bet Chantel loved that part. All together, we're just exploding. Our minds are expanding, and it's so fun. So thank you for joining us, you guys. Next week we will do 5 and 6. I just feel like 2 chapters is good. Do you guys feel like that? Because it's not too much, but it's enough that we can chat. Okay, so next week we'll do 5 and 6, and I'm going to be picking on somebody else who wants to lead the discussion. So if you ever want to do that, message me. Of course, we love volunteers. But we'll pick someone else so that we can get a few different perspectives. So you guys, I love you. Mwah. Oh, P.S. really quick, I'm going to stop the recording.